Rise and shine, mortals. Welcome. It's Wednesday. It's just before 9 a.m. Got a good night of sleep. Got to sleep a little early. I didn't take my zinc last night, so I took it this morning. Oh, who knows what's in that by this point? But the placebo effect can be very strong if your mind is sharp. There's a few topics I have written down here. They're assertive topics, but I want to reiterate to everybody, especially the kids, that I'm not getting any kind of spiritual impulses or resonances or messages from any audible spiritual source. Okay, I'm not doing the Moses thing, where I say God's talking to me or the Holy Spirit is talking to me, like Tim Ross loves to say. That was another thing that really got on my nerves. Is he would have these like internal conversations with the Holy Spirit while he was talking on the pulpit, and I'm like, hey bro, if the Holy Spirit wants to say something to you, let him say it while you're doing your personal study, and then just tell us if he said something. Tell us what he said. I mean, no snowflake is exactly the same. Okay, so even if they cloned Diddy and made Kai Cenat, they're two different people, right? So, when I saw the previews for They Cloned Tyrone, I thought they were just making fun of me for liking the Jamie Foxx show back in the day. I mean, Fancy was attractive. Why would I need to be upset about that? You're not going to embarrass me by things that were literally programmed into me as a child. Yes, Maia Campbell was attractive back in the day. If I have the opportunity to talk to her, I'm going to talk to her. Didn't know she was a fucking crack addict. Anyway, we dodged a bullet there, didn't we, Brandy? In any case, look, we were talking about the Jewish influence of the algorithm. Okay. It's good to boil things down to first practices. If Elon Musk can make $1.5 trillion off of that, we might as well be able to at least tell the truth and make a video about it. Okay? Not getting any views, not getting any payouts. And they want to say that we're progressive now and we're not lynching people like we used to. They're lynching this slow. This is a slow buck breaking because I didn't participate in any Logan Wall or homosexual activity. The gay community has a form of godliness but denies its power. Okay? In the same way they have sex with other men but are incapable of naturally reproducing because there's no womb in the rectum and there's no womb in the throat. So, men rejecting the natural inclination to be with women because they can kind of bypass the need to actually have some kind of skill in managing the emotions of women. What they do is they imitate women and then, like a wig, like a wig on black women's head, they perform their abominations with each other. And when Fauci decided to implement the AIDS vaccine, or the AIDS virus, who did he inject it into? The homosexuals. Because what are they going to do? Just spread it. Okay? And then what do? Blame black people. They say black people fucked a monkey and created AIDS. When in fact, both AIDS and COVID were created in a lab. And now on YouTube, we're getting all kinds of advertisements for pre-HIV preventative medication. So before you have sex with a man, take this medication and it will lower the risk of you getting the Fauci disease. Okay. If homosexuality was so great, wouldn't it have some natural reward to it? you won't be able to, like, okay, let's look at the podcasts. Oh, shoot, I keep forgetting your guys' names. But you guys are doing a great job. The three guys from New York, you guys are doing a great job. Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll get it next time, okay? But they bring on these New York girls that are only like 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. And they already have the cemented New York bitch logic in them that a 40-year-old woman with 50 bodies would have. And, since they're from New York, they probably have 50 bodies by the time they're 18 already. Okay? We like when women behave promiscuous with us exclusively. Now, men, you can only expect that if you optimize your attractiveness. Okay, so you need to. But that is also a spiritual thing. If you connect with your Creator in the most holistic way, don't you think He would optimize your appearance? Okay? And I've given you tensegrity. Every day, my blood flow gets better. It's like Benjamin Button, it's working in reverse. There's things that are detoxing from way back when, emotions I'm feeling from childhood. Okay? Yeah, some days it's necessary to release emotions through anger, through sadness, through depression, through sorrow. Okay, my mother passed, and I was very sad about it. There were moments when I was very upset about her leaving. One, because she was my defense against my father's immigrant tendencies, and also she was my bridge to multiple intelligence. Her dissertation was on the use of multiple intelligence in the education world. Okay? So she gave me permission to explore different ways of solving problems. And that's what gave me the idea to search in different communities for their natural cultures of excellence to solve different elements of those problems. Okay? And, that was how I was programmed from 0 to 7, with a father and a mother. And, oh, by the way, I never saw them kiss, rarely saw them hug. Rarely. Okay? But you know what I did see? I saw them pray together in tandem. And you see it on YouTube as well. I saw them teach together. I saw my father respecting my mother's intelligence and leadership, which is very progressive. I saw him delegate and leave her complete autonomy, not just in the kitchen, but in planning events, in organizing important items in the home, any kind of necessary legal documentation. We never had an issue with that. As a matter of fact, they would always get upset with me for being careless about documentation because they were very, very systematized. And my mother did not think that because she came from a slightly better socioeconomic situation, that was never rubbed in my father's face. His spiritual authority was never questioned in our house. The only reason I'm even discussing his flaws now is because my brothers need to have a blueprint on how to behead their fathers. Okay? It's time to do that. And you old men, you know that you've been delaying the inevitable for a long time. So, young men, in your years of strength, you must lead with integrity and dignity, because eventually your son will behead you. And you want it to be quick, and you want it to be clean. Okay? Okay, homosexuality and pedophilia. Pedophilia is very popular in the Los Angeles area. There's all kinds of tunnels and things, and you got Will Smith trying to kiss his son in the mouth and things like that. This is why I believe the black community has an aversion to corny behavior. Okay, and sometimes proper speech kind of has the appearance of whiteness, and whiteness is the community that historically condones homosexuality and pedophilia. Okay? Yeah, we know there's a weird uncle in every family reunion that's touching on little cousins and stuff like that. But the girls are also pretty fast. Okay? You have one period and your breasts start developing a little bit. Now all of a sudden you're walking around in tight clothes and short skirts and stuff. Okay? You get what you pay for. Just because your mother's a whore doesn't mean you have to be. That's not the way to compete with her. I could have been a fine professor. I could have gotten a PhD in biomechanics very easily. Okay? I looked into a doctorate of physical therapy program at UT Southwestern and even Texas Women's University. Can you imagine me running through Texas Women's University? Oh my God. Oh man. You see the sacrifices I've made for you? But that's why it's important to connect with your Creator early. Okay? You have to know what your purpose is. Otherwise, you will distract yourself with all kinds of nonsense. Okay? That's what the end of Romans 1 is about. He gave them over to their lust. Okay? So now these Jews, they can't change if they want to. That's why the whole algorithm is just an offset of me. Deontay Kyle. Who is Deontay Kyle but a fat version of me that's willing to suck dick for a little clout? Okay. The whole Joe Budden podcast is now reoriented to offset my greatness. In large part because I'm standing up for Indian male heterosexuality, which applies to my whole diaspora. Which means all my sons now have a certain amount of self-esteem that they did not have before. Which means they will be that much more difficult to control. And that's what you get for putting a fucking tranny in a Starbucks commercial in India. Nobody wanted that shit. You could have left that alone. But you think your money is your invincible Tower of Babel. Drake is not even worth my time. He's not worth the skin off my knuckles. But I brought him up to prove a point. That's how they think. They have a 2-hour stretch of gambling and showing off their large estate. The pool in the background, their wealthy friends, and their bartenders that come and do all these types of things. Xerxes type stuff. You remember Xerxes from 300? By the way, boys, you don't have to be naked and butt-fucking each other to be Spartan in discipline. I will show you. 0 to 7 is the most important formative years of a young child's life. Your boys need to know that it's okay to, play rough with each other, to scrape their elbows, to jump off of something and, move around. But they also need to know that it's their job to be defenders of their sisters. Okay? So, don't encourage early sexuality. Fathers and mothers, I think, should have healthy sexual dynamics, but anything beyond a certain point, I think, should be kept in private. Okay, let children be children. Let them be innocent. The first intimate connection a child needs to make is with their Father in heaven. Let that tree grow. Let that tree of knowledge grow. Okay? You don't have to force them to learn King James things, but you can influence their diet. Okay? And if they're eating properly, and you can do this on Snap, it's very easy to do. Quality vegetables, quality fruits. You know, if they can get organic stuff, that's great. But if not, at least try to keep it to what would naturally occur in the earth. Okay, fruits, vegetables, good quality meats. Okay, yeah, it'd be great to have elk all the time, but you know that's just not feasible sometimes. Mix it up: chicken, beef, fish, pork every once in a while if that's something that you want to do. If you feel like that brings your family closer together because of history and stuff like that. But remember, parasites do exist. So you have to have some type of offsetting thing. But Dr. Sebi's team has done that. Pharmacy for Life has done that. Okay, and there's many other holistic things that are going to pop up now that we've set that precedent. So for every poison, there's an antidote. Okay? We don't want to exclude. Okay, God created male and female for a reason. That's that spiritual androgyny we were talking about. Okay? Now, if I was in this situation and only got angry, right? And if I only got enraged, isn't that the same as being a homosexual? If I don't tap into the great qualities of empathy and emotional intelligence that my mother had, wouldn't I be in big trouble right now? Okay. If I didn't understand the beauty of black culture that I can live with in this home while I live in the poisonous white suburbs, wouldn't I be in trouble? Okay. If I didn't understand the Hispanic work ethic while maintaining a family mindset even while being single, wouldn't I be in trouble? Okay. So, we need to have a productive day. I want us to look and see what problems we can solve with the resources we have available to us at this moment. Yeah, we might have things coming in the future, but they're not here now. Okay, Christmas is probably going to be a little bit more streamlined. Okay, yeah, it was a pagan holiday, whatever. And we're not celebrating white Jesus' baby manger story. We don't have to do that. But what we do need to celebrate is being Christ-like, what that represents. The Lord is able to take a lie and make it good. Okay? Jews can take something good, like the intimacy of a man and a woman, and make it evil, like homosexuality and pedophilia. So we have that choice. That's our knowledge of good and evil. What are you going to choose today? Okay? Is the world real? Is the firmament real? Is nature real? Who made that? Did the Jews make that? No. A supreme creator of intelligent design that created you with all your intricacies made this world and made you intentionally. Okay? Terence Crawford just retired. And I show him great respect. I have no desire to ever really get in the ring with him. I was completely joking. But he had a very strained relationship with his own mother. But look how the Lord turned that around for the entire city of Omaha, for the entire country. How well has he represented us? That's just one example of what the Lord can do if we keep our hearts open to Him. Okay? So, that's good for now. We'll talk soon, and let's have a great day.